Oh, Young, let's get you out of this horrible thing.
Oh, here, take this.
Well. Now I don't know who to jack off to.
Cartoons usually live and die by their main characters. And sure, it can be enough to just give them a good personality and fun stuff to do, but if you want a character to stand the test of time, you gotta make a design that stands out.
I think he needs a little more attitude.
Oh yeah, bingo. There it is, right there. That's it.
I love it.
People work their whole lives refining their skills and honing their art to make characters that go on to achieve worldwide fame. Characters like Mickey Mouse, Goku, that one Banana Lady I'm pretty sure is DTF. The job of character designer is one that requires dedication, hard work, and time. Or you can just get a famous dude. Whatever. Screw paying some dude to just draw something. Just get God. He's non-union.
Gentlemen, I give you the Asian. Ooh.
Yep, celebrity cartoons have been around for a while, and it makes sense how. Why try and establish a new brand when people like Hulk Hogan and Chuck Norris already exist? Most of these were cheaply made and boring as sin, but every so often, we had something quality slip through the cracks. Stuff like Jackie Chan Adventures and Class of 3000 actually tried to make something interesting with the star they were handed, and you can tell by how much fun those shows were. And then you have stuff like Hammerman.
It sucks, man.
But for people like me who lived their lives under a rock for the most part, these cartoons were usually the first time I had ever heard of a celebrity. You think I knew who Howie Mandel was before Bobby's World?
But remember, stay clear of her tentacles.
Okay. I thought only boys had tentacles.
But just like regular cartoons, the cream usually rises to the top. And some of these shows go on to be classics in their own right. And today, I want to go over one of the best ones to ever come out. An amazing cartoon starring one of the most prolific boxers to ever step into the ring. That's right, today we are looking at I Am the Greatest, The Adventures of Muhammad Ali.
Now watch The Adventures of Muhammad Ali.
Actually, let's just talk about Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Now everybody buckle your mother seatbelt.
Michael, just...
Mike Tyson's Mysteries is seriously one of the strangest cartoons I have ever seen in my life. The premise is pure absurdism, the stories they tell feel like the ramblings of a madman, and every character in it is either a psychopath or well on their way to becoming one. So obviously I adored it.
Oh, that is lowbrow. It's funny as shit, but it's lowbrow.
I don't know how they did it, but everything in this show just kind of works. And the more I watched it, the more I fell in love with it. So today, I want to take some time and go over how Adult Swim managed to create what might be the greatest celebrity cartoon to ever exist, and what makes it so much fun to watch. So hit the bell and let's get right into it. I'm your host and world paperweight champion, D'Angelo Edwards, and today I'm taking my hat off to Mike Tyson's Mysteries.
Genius. It goes ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, click, bum, ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, click, bum.
We need more bad guys to smash.
Bum, click, bum. I be Lord of the Rings, I manifest. Represent from the den, I don't wear no vest. I got a heart, my chest, it goes ba-bum, ba-bum. I sway halfway, the day's hump, get over. I be Lord of the Rings, I manifest.
I'll put a shot to your
sister. I don't wear no vest. I got a heart, my chest, it goes ba-bum, ba-bum. I sway halfway, the day's hump, get over. One out the ring, so now you got...
Check it out, my new vanity plates. You know, because I'm a vegetarian again.
Dad.
I'm sorry, I'm so confused.
Beef is gross, unethical, and yucky.
So, that's what you see when you read that? Okay.
Alright, so even before the show got started, it was already hilarious, just in the way it was created. I've heard several different stories describing how it was made, but my absolute favorite is from Mike's podcast, Hotboxing with Mike Tyson.
I'm in my house in Vegas and these white guys are at the door.
These motherfuckers just at the door.
And I'm like, you know, I don't know how they even got in. They had to call again, so they entered the door, and then my cousin, I said, yes. I thought they were feds. I didn't know what they were. I said, well, something happened, because nobody rang my door. I rang the phone to let them in. So I'm talking to them, and they're talking about where they're from, and they want to do a fucking cartoon. I said, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think I want to do that.
What?
And he said, I didn't think so either. I said, okay, let's try. So I went there, and they did a few funny-looking sketches and stuff, and I didn't like the way it looked. And then I tried it. I said, I saw it moving, and I saw the cartoon act, and I said, wow, this shit is fly. And then I got into it then.
The fact that he was so against making it at first is the funniest thing in the world to me. He didn't even know what Adult Swim was at the time. In an interview with Collider, he says he thought it was just a bunch of rich senior citizens learning how to swim in an exotic lake.
Serious?
The show was created not only by Mike Tyson himself, who eventually came around on the idea, but also Hugh Davidson, an actor and writer who's probably best known for his work on stuff like The Looney Tunes Show, and Lee Stimmel, a producer, and I guess nothing else. The story follows a fictional version of Mike Tyson, who has retired from the world of boxing and gone on to become the leader of a mystery-solving team. He's joined by young Hee, his adopted Korean daughter, the ghost of John Douglas, the ninth Marquis of Queensberry and modern father of boxing, and Pigeon, a man who, after cheating on his wife multiple times, was transformed into a pigeon. Together, they travel all around the world, helping people and solving mysteries that are brought to Mike by Carrier Pigeon. I mean, at least in theory. In reality, we follow the team as they attempt to solve mysteries, but every time they just end up getting involved in an entirely different situation, either forgetting to do the mystery, or just sometimes outwardly refusing the mystery because it sounds boring.
Okay, so here's the deal. I didn't understand any of that, so I propose we get the out of here.
What?
I think I can count on one hand how many times they actually solved the mysteries they were assigned, and I don't have any fingers, so that's gonna tell you something. Instead, these mysteries are just excuses to get a glimpse into the lives of these people, and all the shenanigans they get into. This is the only show where it starts with a house getting termites, and ends with Mike Tyson knocking out the devil.
I, Satan, am reborn to usher in an age of evil and...
Keep away from my daughter, motherfucker!
And there's not even a mystery in this one. Iron Mike just mollywops the Prince of Darkness, and it works. And all these crazy stories are told through the lens of a parody of one of those old Hanna-Barbera mystery cartoons. In fact, if you just tone down the violence and swearing, this show would fit right in with stuff like Jabberjaw and Fangface. Quick story about Fangface, that was the first cartoon that I ever saw on Boomerang, back when I was a little kid. And it was also the first time that I realized that TV didn't stop after bedtime. My little mind was blown more that day than Bill Clinton in his prime. But while the show is definitely a crazy ride every episode, just because of the nonsense that happens, it's also one of the most tightly written and funny shows that Adult Swim has ever put out. And a lot of that comes down to how strong the characters are in this. The way they riff off each other and the way the dialogue just feels so natural makes it almost feel like improv, except you actually want to see it.
So without further ado, I need a place.
Your ass.
Okay, come on now, something serious.
Your mom's ass.
Hey, let's get that guy out of here.
But it's the way that they bring these relaxed attitudes while doing and saying some of the worst stuff imaginable that makes it so good.
Starting to notice the girls, huh? Let me ask you something. You jacking off yet? Because if you are, it's weird. Nobody does it. You're the only one.
Mike in particular is amazing at this. While not his first acting role, it is his first voice acting role, and Mike was afraid that he might bring the performance of the others down. But in reality, he's the glue that holds the entire thing together, because it is literally just him talking.
I go with hazelnut. It's a little bit of a treat, but nothing crazy like hot chocolate. What fat ass gets hot chocolate in the middle of the day? You know what? This fat ass is getting hot chocolate. I deserve it.
Like, go out and listen to any Mike Tyson interview and then come back to this. There is no difference. Except now, instead of recounting past fights, he's talking about how worried he is that he keeps killing astronauts by accident.
No, wait. I think he might be all right. Hold on 1 second. He's trying to speak, but I can't hear him. Nope. Man, that means 11 astronauts.
The entire time I was watching the show, I had to keep pausing to ask, what did he do to make this so funny? And I guess it just comes from natural charisma, because I never stop smiling watching it. Just the way he confuses such simple things, like thinking a Grandmaster of Chess is the same thing as the Grand Wizard of the KKK. And then not one episode later, he's bragging about homeschooling his daughter, who pretty much just grew up smart in spite of him.
You are obviously a well-educated young lady.
I homeschooled that shit.
And he has no shame at all, doing whatever he wants and taking advantage of other people the moment they ask if he wants something.
Can I get anyone anything?
I'll take some rice-a-roni.
Oh, I'm not sure if we have that.
I bet you do. It's the San Francisco treat. Let's all look.
And like, he is Mike Tyson. Are you gonna tell him no? I'm not gonna tell him no. Have fun signing that death wish. His self-confidence even borders on the sociopathic when he really gets going.
But you don't need your seatbelts, man. You got me. I could bring you back to life, man. I have the power of God. I am God.
Okay.
But despite it all, he never comes off as unlikable, usually wanting to help the people he receives requests from, in his own twisted way, and a lot more of his softer side is shown whenever he's seen interacting with the members of his team.
What the hell is this?
Is that Chinese?
Is it, young?
Why would I know?
Because you're Korean.
Okay.
Which is a kind of Chinese.
No.
Who better to look at first than Mike's adopted daughter, and the most normal member of the mystery team, Young Key. An obvious Velma parody, Young Key would much rather be hanging out with friends, or applying for colleges, than traipsing around the world solving mysteries with Kid Dynamite. She spends most of the time trying to keep Mike focused on the task and fending off the unwanted advances of Pigeon, who can usually be heard either hitting on her or making fun of her.
I'll tell you what the kid needs is Young Hee's.
What?
Huh? Calm down, it's not what you think.
You're saying he needs to have sex with me?
Oh, it is what you think.
While initially, you would think that she'd be the meek one of the bunch, and she kinda is comparatively, she has the wit to keep up with the other members of the group, even stumping Pigeon on occasion.
Actually, I was skinny dipping.
Yeah, with some of my girlfriends. I just put this bathing suit on right before I walked in. It was super fun. We were just out there, splashing around, touching each other, giggling. It was very erotic. I'm sorry you missed it.
Her voice actor, Rachel Ramirez, also did a great job bringing the same level of realism to her lines. Every scoff and gasp always felt real. While happy enough going along with the insane whims of her dad, she does long for a normal life every so often. She wants a social life, to make friends, and to date. Sometimes she even gets desperate, even joining a Christian youth group just to meet boys. But these attempts never really work out, mostly because of the world she lives in. One guy ends up being a werewolf who Mike shoots, even though he gets cured, and the boy that she meets in the youth group ends up possessed by a demon.
I'm the demon bath hog. Come forth and admire my 9 penises.
It also doesn't help that a lot of the characters in the show often mistake her for a boy. While these jokes can be kinda funny, I feel like sometimes they rely on them a bit too much, and it's one of the more weaker running gags. Especially when I don't really get it. I mean, look at her. I think she...
Well, we have to talk about it at some point. I'm 18.
Pretty cute, but overall, she's a pretty fun character that helps ground the show a little bit, while partaking in the silliness of it as well. And her and Mike have a really cute father-daughter relationship, even if he sometimes forgets her name.
You do not need to hide who you are, Yang.
Yang?
I am proud of you no matter how you choose to live your life.
Next up, we have the Marquis of Queensberry, or Marcus as he's usually called. The flamboyant ghost of the boxing legend, he is the complete opposite of the real-life person he's based on, besides his insanely good physique. Marcus was sent to Mike to help him find his way, but it mostly seems like he's just there for a good time, and drinks aren't the only thing he likes stiff.
They say the Denver area might get 8 inches tonight.
I'll give you 8 inches tonight.
He's a bit more willing to go on mysteries since it's used as an excuse to travel and see the sights, and since he's a ghost, he's got nothing better to do, so it's a win-win. They actually use him to make some pretty interesting rules for ghosts in this show. Like, ghosts can still die again, and every time they do, it gets a bit worse. Also, apparently ghosts can't have sex with living people, which they kind of just drop later, because Marcus is shown getting into a number of relationships as the series goes on.
Everyone, you remember Daniel, my friend?
They also use him whenever they want to do something a bit more mystical. Since apparently when you die, they just kinda tell you everything, like the meaning of life, every magic secret, the works. Which makes it even funnier that Marcus doesn't really care about any of that. I love his inflections and the little rants he gets on. His voice actor, Jim Rash, really brings it. He was great as Gyro in DuckTales too. I really love his relationship with all the characters as well. His constant confusion with Mike, the sweet kinda uncle and niece thing he's got going on with Young, and the mutually sustained hate boner he shares with Pigeon. It's all good stuff, but they also do something really interesting with his real life past. You see, the real life Marquis was actually pretty homophobic, and had the famous poet Oscar Wilde sent to jail to do hard labor after he found out that he was in a relationship with his son. The series doesn't shy away from this, and actually sets up an episode where the gang goes back in time, so Marcus can apologize. It's actually a pretty touching scene that I wasn't expecting, until they come across a baby version of Hitler, and Mike kills him with his bare hands. So, pretty cool episode overall. And last but not least, we have Pigeon, played by the late, great Norm Macdonald. This foul-mouthed, drug-addicted rat with wings wormed his way into my heart, and the show wouldn't be the same without him. It's kind of hard to narrow down what makes him so great in this show. He was just the perfect choice for the role. Every line is delivered perfectly, and Pigeon takes what should be a simple one-note character and transforms him into the breakout star. Plus, all the little touches, like seeing him do the same stuff he did as a man, is great. Like, why does he have pockets? Why does he have a gun?
Wait! Pigeon, stop shooting!
And the fact that no matter how much he creeps on Young or antagonizes Marcus, Mike will always love him unconditionally. And that's really just the cherry on top.
The question of the night, who sleeps with whom?
I call Pigeon. I want to sleep with the pigeon.
What?
You take up such a little room, it's like sleeping with a stuffed animal.
Ah.
And it's not just surface level stuff either. We get to see how being trapped as a pigeon has absolutely wrecked his mental health. Like, I'm sure he was a dick before, but if you get turned into a bird, I feel like you're entitled to be like a bit more of a dick. Like, you get an upgrade from half-mast to chode. You know, if we're going by the metric system. But for what it's worth, he takes it all in stride.
Huh. My last roofie. Well, may as well pass out.
All of these characters work so well together, and they have such a good natural chemistry that if even one of them were missing, it just wouldn't be the same show. And I think people really liked them together because the show was kind of a sleeper hit. I honestly didn't know it got 70 episodes and lasted for 6 years, but after watching it all, I can definitely tell why. Between the fantastic character work and the hilarious chaos of every situation, this might be the best celebrity cartoon I've ever watched. And I think that stems from the fact that they don't try and turn Michael into something he's not. I mean, I know he's not a mystery solver that we know of, but the show is so funny because it really is just Mike Tyson thrown into this crazy cartoon world, interacting with these characters the same way he would if they were in our world. And it just works. And there is a lot more that makes it special too, which we will talk about right after this break.
Thanks for coming. We thought you might think this was a stupid mystery.
Oh, there's no such thing as a stupid mystery, sir.
As the show went on, I feel like they started having a lot more fun with the concept, really leaning into the fact that it's a parody of all those old Scooby-Doo knockoffs. Also, I haven't mentioned it yet, but I really do like how this show looks. It's like if 60s Scooby-Doo actually had a budget, but it never goes too far. Nice grounded animation with a style dead on to what they're referencing, even down to the painted messy backgrounds. It's a nice touch. They even take a page out of the new Scooby-Doo movies and have a few guest stars on the show. James Hong, Stephen Root, even Flo. But by far the most iconic episode is when Mike got down doggy style.
Snoop Dogg?
What up, Mike?
Yep, during one episode, the mystery team meets up with the D.O.G.G. himself. He also plays a fictional version of himself that solves mysteries, albeit way more successfully. This was actually really cool to see, and it makes perfect sense considering how many other cartoons got that dog in them. But this one was especially nice because Snoop was such a major fan of the show, and between this and that podcast they did together, I need more of this pair in my life. As the show goes on, we learn a lot more about the team. I mean, except for Mike. You know who he is. The only thing that changes about him is how cool he is with killing people. But we do learn a lot about the rest of the squad. We figure out that Young Key is pansexual. They go from just hinting at Marcus's sexuality to outright confirming it. And we get to see Pigeon's ex-wife that turned him into a pigeon, where it's revealed that she isn't a witch, but that she instead just prayed to God and he turned him into a bird. Yep, cool. But I can't get a pair of headphones that last longer than a year. But yeah, turn this dude into a pigeon, whatever. And I guess like countries are like war-torn and stuff, but I'm sick of buying headphones. $50 a year adds up. Back to the show though. Besides the character stuff, they also do some really funny stuff with the fourth wall. Like, some things I have never seen before.
Michael, what on earth are you doing?
I'm trying to end it. I just want it all to be over.
Like, take the theme song for instance. It's not an uncommon thing for theme songs to include scenes from the show that were made specifically for the theme song. But there's an episode that goes out of its way to show exactly when and where the scenes from the theme take place. And it takes such a turn that I don't even want to talk about it further. Just go check that one out, it's an all-timer. But the absolute craziest thing about this show is the last episode that came out. The main event that happens in it is that Marcus is called back to heaven to finally be made into an angel. The group prepares to say their goodbyes, but right when God shows up to bestow Marcus's wings, Mike runs back up to heaven, and God sees his own reflection in Mike's braces, and it kills him. The very last episode of Mike Tyson Mysteries ends with Michael Gerard Tyson killing God. And you know what? If that doesn't say everything you need to know about this show, then nothing I can say can explain it any better.
I couldn't find the kitchen, but then I remember this is a cartoon, so I was like, draw me a shake, motherfucker.
Oh wait, I forgot to talk about DZ. Ah well.
Good morning, fella.
Good morning, shithead.
What? What's going on? That's the second complete stranger to call me a shithead today. It's not even noon.
Just kidding, love you, DZ. And so, Mike Tyson Mysteries came to a close. Even though it was kinda canceled out of nowhere, it got consistently good ratings and only got better as it went on. But I guess that wasn't enough to save it. And 70 episodes is nothing to sneeze at. Sadly though, with the tragic passing of Norm, I can't really see a way for this show to ever come back. But what we got was some great stuff. And this show firmly established Mike Tyson as number 2 in my list of people I never want to get mad. First is still Suge Knight. I'm not quite sure he can die. But this show proves that with the right team and the right celebrity, shows like this had the potential to be a lot more than the sum of its parts. So I hope you all give it a shot, and keep an eye out for the next big celebrity cartoon. I think they're finally greenlighting Tucker Carlson's Candy Corral. You won't believe what he does with the green M&M.